Welcome to Untold Lores, The Man Who Wanted the Right Reason, Part 3 of 4. The instrument of Varath had been taken by the Emperor's youngest brother, Lord Caden Varath, 48 hours before Liran had found the alcove. Saya had learned this through a network of informants she had spent 15 years building inside the palace walls. Informants who reported not on enemies of Varath but on the court itself. Caden Varath was 38 years old and brilliant in the way that men who have been told they are second place their entire lives sometimes become brilliant, with a specific, targeted fury. He had spent 6 years petitioning his brother to end the war with Kale. He had attended every peace negotiation. He had compiled casualty records and presented them to the imperial court with the precision of a magistrate. He had been dismissed, ignored, and twice quietly threatened. He believed the war was wrong. He was entirely correct. He had taken the instrument because he intended to use it to end the war. He had read his brother's private correspondence, intercepted a courier from Saya's own network, and pieced together the existence of the seventh chest. He had reached the alcove 2 nights before Liran, picked the simple iron latch without difficulty, and walked out with a weapon that had ended an entire generation 400 years ago. He believed he was acting with justice on his side. He was going to use it on the Eastern Front, at the Battle of Kyle's Narrow. He intended to use it as a demonstration, not against soldiers but against the battlefield itself. He believed this would shock both armies into a ceasefire, force his brother's hand, and end the killing. He had not read what it actually did. He had only read the myth. The myths were, as Liran could now confirm, a complete fabrication authored by men who had seen what the instrument actually did and decided to describe it as something heroic instead of something that should never have happened. Liran and Saya had won. The Battle of Kyle's Narrow was scheduled to begin at dawn the following morning. Caden would be riding with the advance unit of the Western Observation Corps, positioned 2 miles from the front. They left the palace within the hour. Saya had 3 soldiers she trusted completely. They rode through the night on the northern road. Liran hunched over his horse's neck against the wind with the letters still pressed against his chest, and a growing cold certainty that he was not prepared for any part of what was happening. He spent the ride reading the cipher his grandfather had left. Saya had given him the cipher key, a small carved wooden card that Olanosh had entrusted to her 32 years ago in lieu of a will. The cipher described the instrument in technical, archival language that was somehow worse for its flatness. It did not destroy arms. It did not burn city. What it did was remove the capacity for narrative from every living being within its range of activation. Every person, every creature, every mind within reach of the instrument when fired would lose the ability to construct meaning from events. They would experience things but be unable to connect them, unable to remember in sequence, unable to understand why anything had happened or was happening or would happen. Cause and effect would simply cease to function inside their minds. They would be alive. They would eat and breathe and move. But they would be entirely, permanently, and irreversibly unable to think in a straight line ever again. This was what had happened to the witnesses of Varath's arrival. This was how the Empire had been founded, not through killing. Through a tool that unmade the minds of everyone who had seen the truth. An entire generation of people, living out their days in permanent gentle incomprehension, while the man they had seen arrive as a mercenary built a mythology around himself using the silence of the people he had made incapable of contradicting him. The magic had not died because Varath was a lie. Liran understood it on the 3rd hour of the ride, reading his grandfather's cipher by the light of a hooded lantern. The magic was dying because the Empire's entire resonance system, every stone, every channel, every node of magical infrastructure, had been built on a founding ritual that used the instrument as its cornerstone. The instrument had not just silenced witnesses, it had been used as the first stone of the entire magical edifice. and it was failing now because the instrument, having been moved for the first time in 400 years, had broken the only connection holding the resonance network together. Every spell deadstone in the Empire, every coal, 11 years of silence, all of it had started the moment someone last touched the seventh chest. It had not been Caden. The timer had started 48 hours ago, but the math, when Liran checked it against Saya's informant reports, was wrong. 48 hours did not match 11 years. He read the cipher again. His lamp guttered in the wind. He read it again, and then he understood. The seventh chest had been opened before. 11 years ago, the night the magic died. Someone had opened it, looked at the instrument, and put it back. Someone had started the decay and then decided not to finish it. The question that hit him like cold water was not who had done it. The answer to that was becoming very clear. The question was why a person who had opened that chest, seen the instrument, and chosen not to use it 11 years ago, had now, tonight, sent Caden Varath to retrieve it. Someone had engineered this entire sequence. The ride to the front. Someone needed the instrument used, and they had found a man with pure intentions to do it for them. Liran pulled the cipher closed and stared at the dark road ahead and realized that Caden Varath was not the threat. He was the tool, and the person who had made him one was riding just ahead, leading their group north toward the battle. That's it for part 3. Follow Untold Lores for part 4. Like and subscribe for daily stories.